About to make it hot, cold and compelled. This for my niggas, put the guns in the drums down. Dwelling in peace till the Lord called for the blood. Hey, try to decide my death and got beside yourself. Swore drawn for what you perform. How you gon' hide yourself? Devil got to die for his lies and his dreams. I ain't got no love for the crackers. Nah, just cruel intentions. And in my father's house is spinning mansions. I got plenty bitches. Worthy of vengeance, this your death sentence. I'm talking bitch. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, slaughter. That they do not rise and fill the world with lies. And die for your skin, you gon' die for your crime. That's right. Talking to you. So warn for your life. Your life. Try to destroy my people. You gotta pay the price, nigga. You gotta hear, let them hear. Till the devils that they end this deal. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah. Now they shook from vicious words out this handbook. About to take these rappers back to school. My flow sand and hook. They crossed the line, ain't no coming back. You became no cowards. The only thing sweet is the honey jet. Righteous is the Lord. Give me rest from my sorrow. And hand down death for them devils. There's no tomorrow. Why? Cause they violence leave a man a stiff corpse. You see a flag in the bench, I see horns in a pitchfork. Go ahead. So please believe it. The white man is a demon. And I ain't gon' vote for them to free me. No. They beat us to weep. The color purple, that's why this knife to they throat like ceiling. You got this nigga on his knees. They wanna have peace. We screaming, let this bitch burn at 1,000 degrees. I'm laying in the bosom of revenge. I told her I'd do anything she pleased as I squeeze on the double D's. Fuck you mean? I'm talking to you. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, slaughter. That they do not rise and fill the world with lies and die for your skin. You gon' die for your crime. That's why I'm talking to you. So warn for your life. Your life. Try to destroy my people. You gotta pay the price, nigga. You gotta hear, let them hear. Till the devils that they end this deal. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah.
The police just shot him for no apparent reason. No reason at all. They asked for license and registration. That's the police officer over there that did it. With the black on. I can't really do shit because they got me handcuffed. I can't believe they just did this. I'm fucking back!
You gon' die for your crime. That's right. Talking to you. So warn for your life. Your life. Try to destroy my people. You gotta pay the price, nigga. You gotta hear, let them hear. Till the devils that they end this deal. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah.
What if I told you that instead of doing this, this, and this, you could be doing this to burn an...
Fuck, man. No Cavanaugh nigga came back down. I thought I'd let you know that I was gone, but I never left. I'm back now. I thought I'd let you know this brotherhood is a weapon, and I never let it go. Never let it free. Shit, I kill for my niggas. I thought I'd let you know. No Cavanaugh nigga came back down. I thought I'd let you know that I was gone, but I never left. I'm back now. I thought I'd let you know this brotherhood is a weapon, and I never let it go. Never let it free. Shit, I kill for my niggas. I thought I'd let you know. Yeah, you nigga know I'm about to bring the heat, right? Shit, I used to live the street light. Yeah, now I still keep the heat tight. Now nigga on gold like a green light. They say 144, nigga, you can get it. Ain't gotta tell me twice. Tryna stack a couple grand, get on some land, and put us on the field in the field with the Warriors. And you know a nigga glorious, but we still keep it G though. Keep them tools Home Depot. Might hit him with the Rico. Hey, hit the nigga with the Rico. Hey, said they fucked up the rap game. What you looking at me for? So I know they can't stand me. That's why I keep a Glock handy. Might sip a little brandy while I'm chilling with the family. Tell them a real nigga landed. Dressed in all black like a bandit. Bitch, I ain't come to play. Bitch, I can't do that. No coward, no nigga came back down. I thought I'd let you know that I was gone, but I never lived for back now. I thought I'd let you know this brotherhood is a whip, and I never let it go. Never let it free. Shit, I kill for my niggas. I thought I'd let you know. No coward, no nigga came back down. I thought I'd let you know that I was gone, but I never lived for back now. I thought I'd let you know. This brotherhood is a whip, and I never let it go. Never let it free. Shit, I kill for my niggas. I thought I'd let you know. Back now we ballin'. Ain't Babylon fall. You know the paper nigga walk. So that I walk.
Check.
Check.
Check. You ready, Rock? Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Barakatah to the brothers. Yahweh Shamar Alatah. Shem Yahweh Shah to the sisters. Priest and officer of 1,000. Bon Kayal of Fayetteville, North Carolina. And this is the Israelite School, Universal Practical Knowledge, coming out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA, man. And tonight, it's Wednesday night. In typical UPK fashion, we go into the biblical law class, man. You know, and what's so interesting about God's law, statutes, and commandments is that this is Black culture, man. This is the true culture of so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, not the lives or the customary things that we do that were handed down to us. This is our custom. This is our culture. These are the traditions that we are to hold true to, okay? And that's keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments, man. All right. So tonight, we want to kind of, matter of fact, let's get a Lord a hand, man. Get a Lord a hand. It's been a rough one. It's been a rough week. Been a rough week, man. There's so much going on in the earth today. You know, it's chaos all around us, man. We got uprisings in Sri Lanka, and, you know, they just came off of the mass shooting in Highland Park. You know, people can't determine what they are. We can't even define what a woman is, you know, with a straight face. You know, America is la la land, man. And if you Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, you cannot afford to continue to give America all of your love, all of your attention, your entire spirit. Go ahead, brother.
Everybody's starting to see who God's chosen people really are. You had, you starting to see who God's chosen people are in the earth, man.
Right.
China is starting to recognize that Black people in America are treated different than everybody else. You understand? We starting to realize who Black people in America really are.
Right. Moab is at rest, man. He been at peace. You the time we went to that restaurant, he was walking around with his hands behind his back. Kawhi always talk about that, you know. He's got his own land. They come over here and they set up their own separate, you know, neighborhoods in every treasure city in America, man. The thing about Moab is that they know who they are, okay? They also know who we are. All the other nations know who we are. But the gross injustice of us not knowing who we are, because our identity was stolen from us, man. Our identity, not only was it stolen from us, hey, tighten up in here. What we got going on in here? Not only was our identity stolen from us, they try to put other nations on the name of Yasha Allah, man. They teach that we're, African Americans. They want to throw you in the dark continent, black man. They want to say that you are African, a filthy African, man. When you could talk to any African and they'll tell you that we are not the same people, man. The beautiful thing about being an Israelite is that you are given God's laws, man. You were given his way, his customs, okay? Those are the daily life living skills that we should adhere to, being black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. Not what America says is the right way. America ain't never loved blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Okay, we late to the party. We are homeborn slaves here in America. We don't even realize that we have Stockholm syndrome. We love our oppressor. We love the enemy, man. We worship him every Sunday, every Saturday. We go to these churches. I counted the churches on my way in here today, and I could not believe how many churches I passed on my way in here from my house, man. I passed about 12 churches, man. 12 filthy churches up Ramsey Street on my way here, man. And the churches have done absolutely nothing for our people outside of continue to lead them, down the path of destruction. We have the illusion of delusion, which is what Christianity is, man. We understand in here that Christianity is white supremacy. As long as you in that Christian church, you're going to be in the bottom of the goddamn oppressor's feet, man. Okay? Let's get to some scriptures, man. Let's go into the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1, Baba Kushab. The book of Baruch, which is in the Apocrypha. You're not going to get this in your Christian church because they don't read out the Apocrypha unless, I think the Catholics might read out the Apocrypha. If you go to a Roman Catholic church, I believe they acknowledge the Apocrypha. But most blacks, Hispanics, most blacks aren't in the Catholic Church, man. We stuck in the Christian church. We stuck in what? AME Zion. We want to be Southern Baptist. We claim to be Protestants, and we're in the holiness. All these different denominations, which is nothing more than confusion. Okay, it's disorganized confusion. That's all it is, man. When you get that. Young man Kevin, if you don't mind reading that, brother. Baba Kushab.
This the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1.
Right.
This is the book of the commandments.
The book of what?
The commandments.
The book of the commandments. What does that word commandment mean, man? Give me the root to commandment. What is it?
Command.
A command. What is a command?
An order.
Give that brother a hand, man. It's an order. It's an order, man. You got to understand the spirit of the most high power. The Bible says the Lord is a man of war. Okay? He's not asking when it comes down to these commandments, these laws, statutes, and commandments. When it comes down to his chosen nation, his chosen people, you don't have a choice. This is an order. Okay? Keep reading.
Of God.
The commandments of who?
God.
Not your big mama.
God.
Not your absent father.
God.
Not your teacher. But
God.
of who?
God.
Of the most high power, man. Keep reading.
And the law that endureth.
And the what?
The law that endureth.
And the law. What is a law? What is a law?
To not eat pork, shrimp, and pork.
Oh, yeah, you get right to it. Most high in Christ. Damn right. That's right. That's a law, brother. To not eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, man. But they're not teaching that in the Christian church. They say the laws are what?
Done away with.
The laws are what?
Done away with.
This brother right here, man, you on your way. You are absolutely on your way, man. They say the laws are done away with. Now, why would the Most High Power do away with thou shalt not steal? Or thou shalt not commit adultery? Thou shalt not commit adultery. Why would he do away with that? Why would he do away with thou shalt not kill? It don't make sense to me. When you hear Creflo Dollar tell you that it's a sin to keep the law, you should really be scratching your head, man. I mean, he reneged on all of his work up until, what, a week ago? He told you to get rid of all his books, all his CDs, all his DVDs. Get rid of them. Anywhere where he told you to keep the law of tithing, which is a part of our culture. 90% of what you make belongs to you. 90%. The Lord only requires 10%, man. That's it. Pay your goddamn tithes. Pay your tithes. You know, I was reading the scripture earlier where it talks about the Most High power, you know, can make you rich overnight, man. I'm not no prosperity preacher. You know, it is a challenge to do some of the things that are required of you, but it's not a grievous thing. You're not going to die by keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, man.
Right. Oh, like it. So crazy, like when you look up that word law in the Merriam-Webster Bible Dictionary.
Right.
My bad, it's like Merriam-Webster Dictionary. When you look at that word law, is two two definitions that stand out.
Okay.
One is, it says, often capitalize the revelation of the will of the Most High set forth in the Old Testament.
Wow.
It says that in Esau's dictionary. And it also says, again, it says capitalized. This one didn't say often capitalized. This one says capitalized. The first part of the Jewish scriptures, you know what I'm saying? And it goes on to talk about, you know, the Bible table and stuff like that. Like,
Right.
And the reason I said that is because this right here shows you that they know that the law comes from the Most High, man.
Right.
They wouldn't even put it in there if they didn't give a damn about what the Most High said. They wouldn't put that under law.
Right.
It says the Bible table. You understand?
Right.
And if you capitalize something, you know that that's meant with authority, man.
That's right.
That's said with authority. And for them to acknowledge that means that they know what the Most High said, man.
They do. They know. They get that brother a hand. You're right. The water for that. I'm glad you pulled that secondary definition of law. Can you go up to the primary definition of law according to Merriam-Webster?
Law, out of Merriam-Webster Dictionary,
Right.
which is a noun, a binding custom or practice of a community.
A binding custom. The laws, statutes, and commandments should be customary to so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. This is our paradigm. These are our guidelines, man, to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. This is what our customs should be. What are the customs that we adhere to today under the delusion of Christianity? We believe that we're what? Republicans or Democrats. We strive to be what? In Esau military, fighting in this police force. We celebrate all other gods, man.
That's right.
Via the holiday system of America. From Christmas to New Year's to Mother's Day, you are celebrating another God, devoid of life.
Right.
God spelled with a lowercase g, man. The God of this book, his name is Yahweh, man. He is the only living power, okay? And he chose so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. He chose them and he gave us the law, statutes, and commandments, man. You're not going to learn this in the church. You're not going to learn this in any of Esau's big head universities.
Right.
You're only going to learn this in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA, man. This is the only place on earth where this is taught, okay? We serve a God of exclusivity, man. This is exclusive for the Lord to give you his ways so that you can be prosperous, man. Get back to that verse for me, young man Kevin.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1.
Right.
This is the book of the commandment
Right.
of God
Right.
and the law that endureth forever.
And the law that endureth for what?
Ever.
No, for a time.
Ever.
The law that endureth forever, man. Forever, for eternity, man. But the church says that, you know, the laws are done away with. What makes them think that the laws were done away with, man? If they follow Christ, if they were true followers of Christ, why would they stand so true behind this idea that the Most High power did away with the law? What do you think Christ was teaching while he was on earth, man? He taught about the law, statutes, commandments, man. Keep reading, young man.
All they that keep it shall come to life.
All they that what?
keep it shall come to life.
All they that keep it shall come to life. So if you're not keeping the law, statutes, commandments, the Bible says that you dead, man. You are literally the walking dead. And you wonder why that show, The Walking Dead, was such a popular thing, man. Why it was so celebrated in the earth? Because it was relatable. You know, most things that are popular, you know, people can relate to it. Keep reading.
But such as leave it shall die.
But such as leave the customary tradition of keeping the laws shall die, man. This is the reason why Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are on the bottom. Because we don't keep the laws. We keep the Constitution, man. We adhere to the Bill of Rights like that's ever saved us. Like that Bill of Rights absolutely was written for us. It wasn't. They have a 3/5 clause in there, man. You ever heard of the 13th Amendment? You know, we were slaves. We were never to be accepted in America or wherever we go on the earth. In the book of Zephaniah, it says we are a nation that's not desired, man. Matter of fact, give me that, Officer Ayathan Baba Kushah. Give me the book of Zephaniah, man. 2:1.
Zephaniah, it's like book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 1.
Right.
Gather yourselves together.
Right.
Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
And the Most High Power said that we should gather together. The prophet Zephaniah recognized this. He recognized that we were divided way back when, man. Like we're divided today in America, man.
That's right.
Everybody choosing a side. Everybody choosing a side, but nobody is choosing to be in the truth outside of us that are in the school, man. To gather together. America is not about so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians coming together in the spirit of truth. Why do you think there are so many churches in your neighborhood, man?
Right.
Why? You think that Christianity was something that would be beneficial to you when that was what we were given on the plantation? We weren't given the real truth of the Most High Power. We weren't given this Bible in its completeness, in its complete form. We were given what we receive today from the pastor. False doctrine, man. That Bible wasn't taught to us precept upon precept.
Right.
The Bible, we were given cherry-picked verses, man, to validate, you know, the institution of slavery, to validate the brutalization of our nation, man. That's what we were given. We weren't given, you know, the truth. Give me a book of John 8:32, man. Give me the book of John, chapter 8, verse 32. We're in a biblical law class, and what our people have to realize is that we can no longer continue to live a lie, man. Believing in America, believing in, you know, whatever it is that you're in. If you're outside of the I.S.U.P.K, man, you are living a lie. You are the walking dead. There is no life in you at all whatsoever, contrary to how you feel or what you think, man. The book of John, chapter 8, verse 32. You got it, brother. We're going to be here all night.
This is the book of John, chapter 8, verse 32.
Right.
And ye shall know the truth.
And ye shall know the what?
The truth.
You should know a lie.
The truth.
You should know folklore.
The truth.
You should know fairy tales.
The truth.
You should know the truth is what the Bible says, man. And these laws, statutes, what's more true than the law, statutes, and commandments, man? What's more true than actually applying these laws, statutes, and commandments to your life? Now you're living in reality, man. Now you're not falling for the delusion of Santa Claus and the Easter bunny, man, or the tooth fairy. All that is strong delusion. There is no truth in any of those things. How'd you feel when you found out that Santa Claus was a lie? How'd you feel? Well, y'all didn't put too much stock in Santa Claus? No. What about the tooth fairy? Shocker. It's your mom putting that quarter underneath your pillow, taking a little raggedy tooth that you set under there, man. And that's so satanic to believe that some fairy is going to come in your room and reward you with money for a body part, man. This is ridiculous. You reading that?
And the truth shall make you free.
And the truth shall make you free, man. No longer will you be bound, you know, by having to come up off that cash to celebrate the 4th of July. When you realize that where your people were on the 4th of July in 1776, you realize that, you know, the American Indians were at war with the so-called oppressor, with the so-called white man. The so-called Negro was where? On the plantation, working the tobacco fields, picking cotton, cutting sugar cane. Go ahead, brother.
So like it, so much so to a point where we didn't even know we was free. They gave us Juneteenth.
It's Salaki, if I may, Baba.
Come on, no sweat.
It's off topic, but brother he asked a quick question. Uriah, young man Uriah says, Salaki, sir, can he get a breakdown on Genesis 17:5? And his question is this showing Abram being reborn or shedding his old life when he got his new name?
Give me Genesis 17:5, Baba Kushab. And young man Uriah, you got to get in class, brother. It's too wild to ask questions. You usually save questions like this for General Hyman's scripture breakdown class on Thursday. When we have a topic, you want to make sure you ask a question that's contingent to the topic, okay? But no sweat. We're going to see what this is about. You said Genesis what?
The book of Genesis, chapter 17 and verse 5. Neither shall thy name anymore be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made thee.
And what was his question again, Baba Kushab?
Is this showing Abram being reborn or shedding his old life when he got his new name?
Yeah, so the beautiful thing about this, you know, this is a really good question that you asked here, young man. Give that brother a hand for asking this question, man. So what we see here is Abraham, you know, being raised up, essentially. You know, you are a young man Uriah right now. You made a decision to come in here and to put on all black, to close your goddamn mouth and to listen and to learn at the feet of the prophets. You know, you bringing your questions to class, which is a beautiful thing. You know, when you come around the prophets that you are learning, you know, from at their feet, they're going to learn who young man Uriah truly is. Okay. And the Most High Power was watching Abram. He watched Abram so much so he saw that Abram wasn't doing the things that, you know, his family was doing. Abram was something special. He was different, you know. So, my baby. So with respect to Abram, you know, being raised up, you know, when he got a new name, that's what happens when you come in here, you do your 90 days as a brother or a sister, man. You know, read that verse, go up 2 verses.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 17.
No, just start at 17. We can start at 17. Let's go there.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 17, verse 1. And when Abram was 90 years old.
How old was he?
90 years old.
90 years old, man. 90 years old. You know, in today's time, like, you know, you're an aged man. 90, you're on your way out, right? What? Yeah, at the age of 90, you know, you're pretty much set in your ways at 90. Keep reading.
And 9.
99. Keep reading.
The Lord appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty God. Walk before me and be thou perfect.
So the Most High Power is let Abram know, look, man, you ain't playing with none of, you know, you're not playing with, you know, one of these fake gods of the earth, man. I am the Almighty Power, okay? I stand alone. He's letting Abram know who he is, okay? There's no way that the Most High Power would present himself before Abram unless Abram was peculiar, unless Abram, you know, had the spirit of righteousness, okay? Keep reading.
Verse 2, and I will make my covenant between me and thee.
Oh, Salakia. Go back to that last walk before me.
Walk before me.
Right.
And be thou perfect.
So the Most High Power let Abram know, look, you can attain perfection. You can be perfect. What the Christian church say? There are no perfect people, right? They set you up for failure as soon as you walk through the doors. They say, come as you are. And I guarantee you, if you don't stay the same, you're just going to get worse, man. It's almost like when you go to prison, you get a formalized education on how to be a better criminal, man. All right, keep reading.
Verse 2. And I will make my covenant between me and thee.
I will make my what?
Covenant between me and
covenant
thee.
is nothing more than a contract, man. The Most High Power recognized Abram and saw that he was special and peculiar. And he said, man, I'm going to make a contract with this brother, man. Who can say that they have a contract with God on the earth? Who? Beyond the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. What we're reading about right now was one of our forefathers. Abram, before his name was changed to Abraham, right? Keep reading.
And will multiply thee exceedingly.
Right. Keep reading.
Verse 3. And Abram fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, verse 4.
Man, Abram was just amazed. Can you imagine the Most High Power presenting himself to you? You talking about a Negro wake-up moment, man. You know, that's all inspiring. That's more than an epiphany. You know, to have the Most High Power acknowledge you for whatever it is that you're doing in the earth. Abram obviously wasn't a sinner. Keep reading.
Verse 4. As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations.
That's right. Most High Power is just establishing his promise to Abram. Keep reading.
Verse 5. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram.
That's right.
But thy name shall be Abraham.
He don't want you to identify with whoever you were before you got raised up. Before I'm acknowledging all of your hard work, all of your dedication. Okay, that's what happens when you do your 90 days. You are shedding yourself of the world, as Abram did. Okay, keep reading.
For a father of many nations have I made thee.
For a father of many nations have I made thee. We know that, you know, Abram, his first son was who?
Isaac.
Okay, I'll accept that from you because you in here. The first acknowledged son, right? Yeah. But he had a son before that, right? Via his handmaid Hagar, right? Right? And the forefather of the so-called Arabs today, his name was Ishmael, right? Yeah, I know you knew that too, D. Most High in Christ, you know. So the Arabs, they stake claim to, you know, the righteous lineage of Abraham, okay? But they got a separate blessing, okay? Keep reading.
Verse 6. And I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee.
Right. So Abram received his name. His name is no longer Abram. Just like when you come in here, do your 90 days, you shed yourself of the world, and you were consistent. You were reliable. You were predictable. You were dependable. And brothers realized, okay, young man Uriah, you know what I'm saying? Whatever your gift is, you know, usually you are named based off of your strengths. Like my name is Bankayal. For whatever reason, they named me the son of strength. It could be because they met my father. I'm the seed of my father. They might have identified strength in my father. Or they may have seen that, okay, this brother needs to be strong. And recognize and acknowledge that I'm going to go through things like my brother, Officer Ayathon. His name means he will endure, meaning that he's been through things and he's held true. He's held true. He's been steadfast. He's been a stalwart in this work, man. Or Officer Zion Ya'ala, the weapon of the Lord. He's been an absolute goddamn weapon when it comes down to doing the work of the Lord, man. He's one of the primary reasons why I'm in here. One of the reasons why Officer Ayathon is here. So did that answer his question, or does he want more?
That's all he had.
That was it?
Con, I was just going to add also, and when you're looking at that Genesis, this is a prophecy that was given to Abraham as well. You know, so oftentimes with the with the thing how the Lord works, he you know what I'm saying, he gives us that thing that he wants us to have, and it comes with a job or a purpose.
Right.
And we look at, you know, his name being changed, just like all of our names have been changed. Once you accept that oil, you've been given that purpose in serving the Most High. You understand? And this is what Abraham, the task was given. He was given the task of multiply his seed in the earth. And if you ever get a chance to go to Genesis 21:2, and it says, you know, you may think all the other nations, yeah, they come out of Abraham, but
Right.
it says in Isaac said I seed be called. So you get a chance to go and look at it. You know what I'm saying? You'll really figure out that we are God's chosen people through that lineage that the Lord chose to deal with. So he said, he said it was spot on.
Most High in Christ. The water for your question,
Like,
brother.
if I may,
Hit me up after class, by the way. Go ahead.
so like if I may, to add on to what Uzziah is saying, like this right here is a precept to your name being changed, man. When you coming in here, you doing your 90 days. This right here is a precept to your name being
Right.
changed and you becoming someone else. You understand? This right here is pre Abraham sacrificing his son. The Most High asking him to sacrifice, you know, his son. This is before that.
Right.
You know, he became Abraham and he was expected to obey the Most High at this point. You know what I'm saying? And if I may, could the brother finish reading chapter 7? I mean, verse 7 and verse 8, if I may.
Oh yeah, you go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sweat.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 17, verse 7.
Uh-huh.
And I will establish my covenant between me and thee.
Between me and thee, between the Most High and between Abraham. You understand? Go ahead.
And thy seed after
And thy
thee.
what?
Thy seed.
Meaning the nations, those nations that I promised that you're going to be over.
Right.
Those nations are who I'm going to establish my covenant between. Go ahead.
After thee and their generations.
After thee, after you, Abraham, and those generations. Go ahead.
For an everlasting covenant.
An everlasting covenant, meaning never ending. Go ahead.
To be a God unto thee.
To be a power unto them. Go ahead.
And to thy seed after thee.
And to your seed. My bad. To be a power unto you and your seed after you. Go ahead.
Verse 8. And I will give unto thee.
And I will give unto you, Abraham. Go ahead.
And to thy seed after
and
thee.
to those that come after you. Go ahead.
The land wherein thou art a stranger.
Uh-huh.
All the land of Canaan.
Uh-huh.
For an everlasting possession.
Uh-huh.
And I will be their God.
Right. Right here is telling you, like, God didn't choose everybody. He chose Abraham's seed, man. He chose Abraham and that seed that came after him, which is that specific bloodline. Like you just said, Ishmael was one, but he was not the chosen one, man.
That's right.
You understand? This right here is a cold cut to them Arabs that think that they are the 12 tribes. Nah, man, you're not. You weren't the chosen one.
Oh, damn right. Get that brother a hand, man. The water. The water for that, man. All right. So what verse are we on now? Let's get back to what we were talking about.
We're on Genesis 17 and...
No, drop Genesis. We did Baruch. We did John 8:32. We finished John 8:32.
Con on one con.
Most High in Christ. Most High in Christ. Well, I have an article, you know. I sent it to you, Officer Ayathon, via the New York Post. I should have sent the design so the people at home can see it. It's a really, really interesting article, you know, about a brother, man, who was in an unfortunate situation, you know, very, very unfortunate situation that befell this brother. And it's really interesting, you know, when we talk about our laws, you know, our customs, the way in which we conduct ourselves with regard to one another and the other nations. You know, we have to be lawful, not just with other Israelites, but with the other nations, with the heathens, man. You know, we're supposed to be a merciful people, okay? But because we've been in America, because we've been brutalized for centuries, you know, we have taken on the spirit of our oppressor, We have become rapists. We've become robbers and thievery. We've become murderers, man. And that is not the way. That's not black culture. That's not Hispanic or Native Indian culture to be any of those things, to embody or personify any of those things, okay? In fact, those things are the absolute opposite of, you know, the spirit of what we should, you know, convey throughout the earth. You got the article, brother? Go ahead and, yeah, when you get it, read.
New York Post. NYC bodega worker Jose Alba is very sad over fatal stabbing. Please forgive me.
That's right, man. This bodega worker. We all know what a bodega is, right? Here in the South, we don't really have bodegas like that. That's usually something that you'll find like in more urban developed areas, like in New York, or I mean, I was in DC. They have bodegas in DC. You know, bodega is nothing more than like a market, you know, neighborhood market that has everything in there. You know, you can get fresh food. You know, where Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians exist, generally there are no resources. You know, we don't have access to Whole Foods. We don't have access to, you know, really, really nutritious places where we can sustain ourselves. Okay, so these bodegas, they existed out of a need, and usually they're owned by heathens. But I just found out about this. It's a coalition. It's a group, you know, an organization of bodegas, people that own bodegas, and they seem like they're Hispanic. I wouldn't be surprised if they're Spanish, like actual Spaniards. Okay, I ain't seen Vosotros just yet, you know what I'm saying? But I can almost put my money on them being heathens. But this brother is an Israelite. He's Hispanic, all right? And he came into a confrontation or a conflict with a brother, a Judite, right? Keep reading the article.
It's a video. You want the video?
Oh, wow. You got the video? Good night. Well, we giving them credit. We letting them know we can show the video. Most High Christ, we can show the video. Yeah, let's do that. This is a first. I don't know. This ain't the video. That look like Bill Cosby. No. This is the video for. That's Bill Cosby, man. Nah, this ain't it. I watched the video. This is the video attached to the article. No. We're not gonna watch that video. I don't know what Bill Cosby's doing, stretched out in that car. Huh? Oh, Most High Christ. I'm looking at the. Go ahead, Salakia. You got it. Oh man, that was rough. Good night. So what you just saw there was the brother, Mr. Alba, Jose Alba, who is 61 years old, man. He was being accosted by that brother who came around. Anybody that's been in a bodega, you know, it's almost like going behind the register. You're going behind where the cash register is. You know, you got somebody that's separated between a partition. And this brother had the audacity to come around the partition based off of him being upset. Let's finish reading the article so we can get some context information.
Come. The Manhattan bodega worker charged with murder for fending off a violent ex-con broke his silence Monday.
Right. So he got charged with murder for fending off a violent ex-con. They had to throw that in there. What I've noticed, you know, when it comes down to mass media, anytime they can slander or, you know, demean a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native Indian, They're going to always identify the worst parts of you, you know. So if you ever committed a crime, just know that they're going to bring that up. You know, they're going to talk about that. You know, that's what they present to the rest of the world. Okay, keep reading.
Okay. Broke his silence Monday, apologizing to the dead man's family and saying he is very sad over the whole ordeal.
Man, this brother seems like he's an honorable man, you know, to be remorseful about taking the life of another brother, man. Granted, it's another tribe, but we are one nation, man. Being blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. This brother right here is saying that he feels sad about taking a brother's life. And he was just defending himself. Okay? Keep reading.
I didn't think this would happen. Jose Albo, 61, said in Spanish at his Manhattan home.
Mm-hmm.
At that moment, I was in shock.
Right, I would have been in shock. I was shocked to see the brother walk around the counter and to go behind the partition. You don't work there. What are you doing? Obviously, he was in shock. As soon as he came around the corner, you know, if he was dealing with a Judah, it would have been on and popping. As soon as you breached the counter. But this brother, he gave him the benefit of doubt, and he allowed him to basically state his cause. You can see that they had an exchange. They were verbally communicating with one another, which is so beautiful because that's how we are to resolve conflict. We're going to talk about that, you know, what Christ said with regard to resolving conflict. See, in the I.S.U.P.K, we learn daily life living skills that you're not going to learn in the Christian church. Your mother's not teaching you this, all right? Keep reading.
Okay. He said of the July 1st mayhem, which involved him fatally stabbing a man who was attacking him behind the counter of the store.
And we saw there's another vantage point from the perspective of the camera. There was another camera where you can actually see everything, and it was sad, man. You know, but you don't really get to see him the full onslaught, the full attack. You know, this brother, he was out for blood, man. He was literally trying to harm this old man. 61 years of age in today's time, not like Abram being 99 and getting his name being raised up by the Most High. But 61 was the year you can retire. 65, man. He was 4 years away from his retirement, from being able to collect Social Security. This is an older man, man. This is an aged man. And that brother had youth on him, man. I can understand him being afraid for his life, absolutely fearing for his life. Keep reading.
Okay. I tell them that I didn't want this. He said, this happened. I do not know in the moment how this happened, but I'm also sad. I know what the pain is.
Right. Keep reading.
I ask that they please forgive me because I didn't want to do that. The worker was charged with murder for fatally stabbing 35-year-old Austin Simon after the younger man stormed behind the counter of the Hamilton Heights bodega,
right,
and accosted him. The clerk grabbed a knife and stabbed Simon 5 times in the shocking, caught on video melee.
Most High Christ, the water for reading that, brother. And they got an image of him, the brother. You can see he's an older man. You know, he don't want no smoke. He's just trying to do his job. He's working in the goddamn bodega, man. So he obviously he don't own the bodega. I seen who the owners were. He's in there working, trying to, you know, make $1 out of 15 cents. And here you come, you know, being a brutish man, you know, with absolute malice in your heart. You think either one of them brothers woke up thinking that they were gonna, you know, be in the situation that they were in? No, but anything goes when you're living in the land of the lawless.
It's like, if I may, being the fact this was self-defense, I can tell you firsthand experience in a situation like this. This is something, even at 61 years old, he's never going to forget this moment, man. You understand? When you feel like your life is threatened and it's you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You in a situation like this is something that will actually change your entire life, your mindset. And I understand what this brother's saying. Like after it all said and done, you feel like this is not something that you wish would have happened. You understand? But when you go down this road, man, the something like this, once you commit to defending yourself, you never know what's going to come out of this thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Oftentimes, brothers say, like you catch somebody breaking in your car or something. I catch them breaking in my car. You don't know what you're gonna do. Let me tell you something. Being able to defend yourself, that's something. Once you go down that road, there's no turning back.
Right.
And what we see in the remorse of what this brother's saying, like, man, I didn't know what happened. You understand? You know what I'm saying? Flight of kite, ain't know what they say.
Mm-hmm.
And you in the process of defending yourself, and he's definitely gonna have to deal with this the rest of his life. And the remorse that you have for somebody losing their life when you're just defending your life is something that is real. But we look at the earth, you know, we think that our lives is about damn GTA. You know what I'm saying? We think it's about what's the other one the children be playing where they take out the sensitivity to murder and killing and violence. And what's
Fortnite.
Fortnite. All these games really take away the sensitivity of real life. And what we're seeing is a man of age, 61 years old, even though he was defending himself, he didn't lose his sensitivity of taking a life. And that's what this empire is definitely trying to remove through, you know, remove that feeling of sensitivity to loss of life. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's smoking weed, drugs, there's a loss of life. You know what I'm saying? You abortions, all these things, the oppressor find ways to us to make us insensitive to the loss of life, man.
Right.
But in this story, you see this brother he is truly remorseful having to take this man's life, even though he would defend him himself. You understand?
Yeah, right.
It's lucky.
No, Most High in Christ. Let's go back. Go back to the article. But go ahead and state your point.
If I may, you understand?
You got it.
This brother was 35, man, stabbed to death, doing something stupid, something that he didn't even have to do. You understand? We know that because we in here.
Right.
But out there, he got to do whatever he got to do to survive. You understand what I'm saying? And so, like, what the hell you think gonna happen when you rape, rob, and murder a nation of people? When they don't have an identity for themselves, they don't know who to follow, they don't know what the hell to do, they don't know who they are when they wake up in the morning, they don't know what time to goddamn wake up.
Right.
You understand? What you think gonna happen? That people, that nation of people that you don't give no guidance to, you don't allow them to have their dignity, their nationality, their history, those people are going to start doing things like selling drugs, robbing other people. They're going to choose the violent way.
Right.
You understand? It was a saying in the streets, Salaki, if I may. You understand? Like, some people don't understand extreme things until extreme things happen to them.
Good night.
You don't understand what you're doing until something extreme happened to you. He didn't understand what the hell he was doing. In his mind, he went in that store. He probably was thinking, I'm going to make it out. I'm going to make it out, but I got to do whatever the hell I got to do to survive. I got to feed my kid. I got to do this. I got to do that. Something that's so selfish. So selfish, something that America teaches you. You understand? But it said he was fresh out.
Right.
They don't give you an option when you come out of their system. America doesn't give you an option except to be a robber, a raper, and a murderer.
Yeah, he learned from America how to be exactly what he was in that bodega.
That's right.
You know, if we get back to the article, this is really going to be shocking to see what this was about. And this is absolutely ridiculous. Why this even transpired? Why it got to this point? It's sickening. We're talking about our oppressor. The oppression that he keeps us under daily, man.
That's right.
It's going to speak volumes about his brutality, you know,
That's
and
right.
how evil and wicked and vile our oppressor is. For this to actually happen in 2022, man, this is ridiculous. Keep reading.
Come on. Simon was incensed that Alba refused to sell his girlfriend a bag of chips.
He was what? Incensed. What does that word incensed mean?
Refused to sell his girlfriend a bag of chips.
The word incensed, he was just pissed. He was angered. He was beside himself because of a what?
Bag of chips.
Because of a bag of goddamn chips, man. This brother lost his life over some dang on Funyuns, man. Or some Cheetos. Over some damn Fritos, man. He lost his life over chips. This brother had to shed blood over a bag of chips, man. This just makes me think about, you know, when you read the slave narratives and they talk about how they used to feed our young in a trough, like you feed a pig or how you would feed like a cow. You know, they put the food in the trough, and now it's survival of the fit. You know, they put the largest against the smallest. So if you're a runt, good luck. You're not gonna eat. You're not gonna eat at all. And this brother in the delusion, he decided to go and try to strong arm this old man for the sake of some damn chips, man. That's desperation there. That's dire poverty there. And how was she getting the chips? You got the article?
Con. Because her debit card was repeatedly declined at the store.
It was a debit card?
Con.
Damn. I read another article where it said that it was an EBT card, man. Eat Better Today card. She was using food stamps to purchase some chips from a goddamn bodega, man. I mean, this article speaks volumes about the condition of so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians in America, man. We are on the bottom. We fighting over mere scraps, man. We killing each other. We are eating the flesh of our own arms for the sake of survival. And it's sad. America's laws aren't going to save us. We have to go we have to find that straight and narrow path, man. You got to come into the I.S.U.P.K. That's your only safeguard, man. There is no other way. Keep reading, brother.
Okay. Because a debit card was repeatedly declined at the store. One video of the daily encounter obtained by the Post appears to show Simon's girlfriend also stabbing the bodega clerk in the arm.
Yeah, I seen the video of him. He has a nasty, got a nasty gash on, his forearm, and it's like we're willing to kill one another over Frito-Lay, man. That is sad. That is absolutely disgusting. I couldn't imagine my rib coming to me and saying, "Oh, this clerk, he wouldn't accept my call. I couldn't get the chips." You think I'm gonna go in there being incensed?
It's a lot.
No, they're chips. They're chips. You didn't have the money to pay for it. It is what it is. You expect this brother to just give it to you? Now, me being a righteous man, they're chips, man. It'd been nothing to just, here, you take that out. I'll pay for those chips. But I'm sure this brother would have done that if he knew that it was going to resort to this.
Right.
The black woman is devoid of wisdom outside of this school, man. We learn to do things in decency and order in here. Okay, there's no reason for that. Go ahead, brother.
That's a lot, if I may. You understand? Like, just reading this story, she had to go get that brother.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And she probably overreacted.
Right.
You understand? And made it seem like it was something that it wasn't. And to this brother, him being in the world, he probably thought, "Oh, ain't nobody about to disrespect my woman."
Right.
You understand? So I wonder how she feel now. How do you feel now that this brother has died in front of you? You understand? And what, you done stab somebody? That's your way of helping? No, you could have helped this brother by having your together. You understand? You knew what you had when you walked in the store. It wasn't no surprise. You knew what you had when you walked in the store. We all do it. We check our accounts. We see what we're going in to spend. We know what we're going in to get. We do it as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians because nobody wants to go to the register and get turned around.
Right.
If you didn't do it, you're just a poor excuse of a woman.
Right.
An embarrassment, man. Salakia.
Nah, you Tawab, brother. You are absolutely Tawab. You on the money because, you know, that's a part of those curses that befell us in the book of Deuteronomy, man, the 28th chapter, man. You know, what does it say? Let's go there, matter of fact. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and let's see. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. Yeah, verse 17, man. Verse 17. Matter of fact, yeah, you're right, Ottawa. Let's go there. Let's go there. That's wisdom right there. Let's go to verse Deuteronomy 28 and 15. Let's go there.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15.
Right.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Most High thy power.
This is a future prophecy in the book of Deuteronomy, man. If thou shalt not what?
Hearken.
If thou shalt not listen diligently, right? We know that listening, if I tell you to stop jumping on the bed and I go in the room, you still jumping on the bed, you weren't hearkening. But if I tell you to stop jumping on the bed and I go in the room and my kids are sitting down, they hearken. They put action behind, you know, them listening, okay?
Right.
They were hearkening diligently, what?
Unto the voice of the Most High, thy power.
So these law, statutes, and commandments, this is the voice of the Most High power, man.
Right.
It's not the voice of TD Snakes and Theft Your Dollars, man. Or John Gay. This is not the voice of them, man. This is not the voice of Joe Biden or Kama Sutra Harris. We're talking about the voice of the Most High power, man. Keep reading.
To observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
We don't even study, man. The Bible says to study to show thyself approved, man. You know, we don't even study the laws because the church says the laws are done away with. Christianity is a lie. Christianity is absolute poison, man. It's a cancer that plagues the nation of Israel, man. And we are dying because we are in the Christian church. We are dying because we want to give all of our love to America, man. We believe in their constitution more so than thus saith the Lord. Keep reading.
Come on. That all these curses.
All these what?
Curses.
It says all these blessings.
Curses.
All these good things.
Curses.
Good tidings.
Curses.
All these curses, man.
Shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Not only will it come upon us, we've been overtaken by these curses, man. My brother, those people that live, where do Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians live? We live in cursed places, man.
That's right.
The projects is a cursed place, man. When's the last time you've been to a housing project? The ones that still exist, the ones that haven't been gentrified. It's absolute hell on earth, man. In the barrio. When's the last time you've been to a barrio? Hispanic brothers and sisters? Or on the goddamn reservation if you're Native Indian. Hell on earth. Keep reading.
Come on. Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, man. Wherever we are. In any city. You take me to Martin Luther King Boulevard. I can show you where Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are cursed, man. I can show you. It's real easy. We know generally on the south side. Or if you want to really look at like a map, we could talk about redlining, or just show me where the city dump is.
Sorry.
And I can guarantee you, Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian people, they're going to be their communities around the city dump. Keep reading.
And cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city. We cursed in New York City. This is where this happened.
That's right.
And cursed shalt thou be where?
In the field.
In the field, man. I don't give a damn if you live in Talladega, Alabama. You're going to be cursed. You got to deal with these curses. They're going to follow you wherever you go. Keep reading. Oh, Salaki, go ahead, brother.
So like it, you know what I'm saying? What's so heavy about the scripture? Like that curse shall thou be in the field. Like we tend to disassociate ourselves from that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You like, oh, it's 2021. Ain't nobody picking cotton no more. No,
yes.
It's stupid. You understand? Because look at black farmers. We seen a video today in the One West chat with farmers asking and signing petitions, trying to get money from our oppressor that's meant to go to them.
That's right.
But everybody else is getting it, but our brothers and sisters.
Man.
It's billions of dollars that are promised to farmers, minority farmers. But everybody getting that billions except us, man. You understand? And if you don't understand that, like you have to understand that in the Bible, you know what I'm saying, before 2022, we used to be farmers.
Right.
We were big on farming. Our ancestors taught our oppressor how to farm, how to keep sheep, how to herd cows. We taught them how to survive.
Right.
You understand? That's things that we learned through these scriptures, man.
What I'm gonna have to interject because now that's a heavy point. I had to take a screenshot of that because it was so disgusting to see, you know, the USDA's coronavirus food assistance program. That's right. And the monies that were allotted to, you know, supposedly marginalized groups of people. Okay, because of the pandemic, this is how much money was allotted to the so-called white farmer. Right. $6.7 billion. That's right. 6.7 billion. Okay, let's talk about our Latino farmers. It says 100 million. Right. So the so-called white farmer, they get 6.7 billion. Right. Why do you think they get more than the so-called Latino farmer? Yeah, they got all the goddamn land. Right. You know, where are our farms? This is the reason, you know, it's based off of the distribution of the population. Black farms don't really exist today. Right. You know, and these numbers are reflective. The numbers that they, you know, we talk about pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps. They're getting $6.7 billion compared to your measly 100 million. Okay, if you're a Latino farmer, it says the Native Americans, they getting 76 million. Last I checked, this was their land. This was their homeland. They were the ones that are indigenous to North America before the so-called European decided to, you know, cross the Atlantic and employ manifest destiny, man, from sea to shining sea, push you off the land and put you on reservations. It said that the Asian American, even the Asian American farmer gets $17.6 million. $17.6 million. Guess who's at the bottom of the list? As my brother Officer Ayathon was saying, we get a measly $15 million. That's reflective of how, you know, the distribution of black farms in America, man. $15 million bailout. That's nothing.
So, Lucky, if I may add to that, when the last time you seen a black, Hispanic, or Native Indian farmer?
Come on, man. That's a mic drop right there. You know, they're non-existent, man. Ooh, we are suffering. We're on the goddamn bottom. It's because we do not keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments. This is the only way, man. There is no other way that's going to work for you if you so-called black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. Give me the book of Amos, chapter 3, man. Baba Kushah. Amos 3 and 1. Let's go there. You got it? The book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 1.
Khan. This is the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel.
So in the book of Amos, Amos is acknowledging what the Most High is saying to who? It identified who Amos was talking to.
The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Most High in Christ, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you know, the nation of Israel, okay? Keep reading.
Against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying.
This the Most High is speaking a word against the nation of Israel, man. This is not in our favor, okay? This is condemning. This is a condemning statement that we're reading in the book of Amos, okay? Keep reading.
Verse 2. You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
You what?
Only have I known of all the families of the earth.
Amos is acknowledging that the Most High said, you only. The Most High doesn't know the other nations. He doesn't know them. If you black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, you should take heed to these words. There's something very, very special and important about you. If you black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, you got to understand that we are one family. We are one nation, man. One nation. If that brother recognized that in that bodega, he would have seen, oh, I'm dealing with Poppy. I'm not dealing with Ishmael. Jose Abba was a brother. Maybe he would have took some of that malice out of his spirit. He wouldn't have been so incensed when you know you're dealing with your brother and not a goddamn heathen.
That's right.
I bet when he got out of the car, he knew he was going to be dealing with Alibaba. I knew he thought that because I think it. I'm going to have to go in here because, you know, our people, we don't own any bodegas for the most part. So I got to go to my enemy to get the things to sustain myself and my family. Go ahead, brother. Salakia.
Most High in Christ. I was just going to say, you know, this was a precept to that Genesis, 17. You know what I'm saying? It's addressing that bloodline again. You know, specific people. You understand? It says, you only have I known. It ain't say everybody. All right? You understand? And when you say, you know, you dealing with Poppy, you understand? Like, now this brother has been charged with defending himself, man.
Right.
As every black, Hispanic, and Native Indian is, man. You understand? You are guilty until proven innocent, man.
Oh, yeah.
He charged with something that he had to do, man.
Right.
Like,
no. Most High in Christ. You know, and that's really, really interesting that you say that because in I.S.U.P.K, we pride ourselves on not being Christian. And what we mean by that is that we're not pacifists. We will defend ourselves, man. We will stand up and be the strong men of our houses and not be bound and put you to goddamn death if you out of pocket, if you violate. Now, we are not advocating violence, but if you bring violence to our doorstep, just be prepared for the consequences, man. I'm not going to speak any evil because God forbid you do that. I know what the outcome's going to be. The Lord's going to be on my side. You don't think that we've prepared ourselves for war? You don't see no shaved faces in here. Nobody got no khakis kicked up there behind in this school, man. We don't give a damn about the oppressor at all. We are absolutely prepared to die. Any brother that goes to camp, he don't battle with that. We don't count our lives for anything, man. We know we owe this to our nation to lay down our lives, man. Good night. Get back to that verse, brother.
That's a like, if I may, real quick.
Go ahead.
In the words of John Muhammad, choose life. It's better to live than to goddamn die. Choose life.
That's
if you
right.
have to put somebody to death, put him to death and let it be honorable, man. Choose life. If it's your life or their life, you choose life.
Right.
That's what you do.
That's right. That's right. That is absolutely. Get that brother a hand for that one. Choose life. Let's finish Amos, brother.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 2. You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
Of all the families of the earth. And you got to understand the family is just another word for nation. You think about all the nations on earth. It's over what, 18 separate nations on the earth, man. We say the so-called white man is Edom, right? We say the so-called African, they're the descendants of Ham, right? The East Indian. Who was the East Indian? Elam, the Elamites, right? The so-called Arab, right? Ishmael, that's their ancient forefather, Okay? When you think about Moab and Ammon, we talk about the Chinese and the Japanese, man. You know, this Bible is a living book. This is the absolute record. This is the record of the earth, man. This is the record for humanity. All right? If you're not taking this book seriously, I don't know. What are you reading? Harry Potter? You reading J.R. Tolkien, The Twin Towers? What are you reading? Go ahead, brother.
So like I hate to keep cutting in.
No, you
but
too
that's why I
wild. You
say
in
ain't
class.
nothing new under the sun, man.
That's right.
Because it's a living book. Whatever the hell you think is new to you, it ain't new to the Most High, man.
That's right. Damn right. Ain't nothing new under the sun, man. Those people that we read about in this Bible with those ancient names, they exist today, man. If you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, your ancient name is Yasharala, okay? And we can acknowledge who the different tribes are. This is the beautiful thing about this school. We've done the work. We've done the work. We went and we perused all of the literature, man. We've identified who the so-called lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel are today. And if you Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, you are on that chart, okay? You are absolutely on that chart. And it's a beautiful thing, man. When the whole earth does not desire Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. The whole earth hates us. They want to separate themselves from us. They want to distance themselves from us. But yet and still, they want to dance to our music. They want to eat our food. They want to dress the way that we dress. You know, let's not even get on, you know, how we make society great based off of all the inventions, you know, that the Blacks and Hispanics are responsible for. You know, from the air conditioning to the stoplight, man. These other nations, they're absolute heathens in the sight of the Lord. You have to take on that spirit. Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, woman, and child, man. I was watching a class in Captain Natazar was talking about, you know, children's chapel, and how they separate the children and teach them something separate than what the adults learn. The beautiful thing about this school, we all learn the same thing, man. Our children don't learn strong delusion. They don't believe in the illusion of America, man. They know exactly who they are, man. They know that they have to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, man, if they want to live. Okay? Where we at? Let's finish Amos.
Therefore, I will punish you.
I will what?
Punish you.
No, we get rewarded.
Punish you.
The Most High said he will punish you for what?
For all your iniquities.
What is iniquity? What's iniquity? It's a real fancy word, right? You might hear it in the church, but they obviously don't even understand what iniquity is. It's just a very fancy word for sin, man. Iniquity just means sin, man. And we understand in here that sin is transgression of the law. Sin is breaking God's laws. Sin is eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster when the Lord said not to do that. Sin is celebrating your birthday when the Lord said not to do that, man. Sin is celebrating Christmas when Christ didn't celebrate his birthday, man. He didn't celebrate his birthday. We learn to be very wicked and evil in America, man. And the Christian church does not stand up against America. Christian church continues to perpetuate the lies of white supremacy, okay? In the I.S.U.P.K, we stand up to the fallacy of white supremacy, man. That is an oxymoron in itself. It really is. Those traits are recessive. When you look at our oppressor, he has recessive alleles, man. It's the reason why his skin is so pale. And he can't stay out in the sunlight for so long. They lead in what? Skin cancer? He turned red like a damn lobster when you put some heat to him, man. His blood showing forth through his skin, man. Drop that. Good night. Is that it on the article? That's it on the article? All right. I wanted to go into the laws with regard to murder, man. But before we do that, let's get into this conflict resolution. It's real simple. We always talk about this in the book of Matthew, the 18th chapter, verse 15. Let's go there first, because this is law. You know, we teach what Christ taught. We are the true followers of Christ. We don't identify ourselves as being Christians, you know, as a Christian would in his pride. He says that he follows Christ and he don't keep the law, statutes, and commandments, man. He teaches against what Christ laid down in the earth. Okay? The book of Matthew chapter 18, verse 15.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 18 and verse 15.
Right.
Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee,
That's right. So
go.
Moreover, right? If thy brother shall trespass against thee, basically what we saw in that bodega, the brother felt like there was a trespass that occurred. There was an alt, right? We have to understand that this is conflict resolution 101, according to what YAHANNA said, man. If you want to truly be a follower of Christ, do what he said to do. All right? If your brother or your sister, because we know brotherhood is synonymous with what? With sisterhood. This applies to you too, sisters. If your brother trespasses against you, what are we supposed to do? Keep reading.
Go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone.
Mano y mano, man. That's powerful. Now you got to be a goddamn man. You cannot be a coward. You feel like a brother said something wrong to you, was out of pocket, go to him and him alone, man. That's the making of a man right there. You know, that's real love, man. You know, to be able to level with a brother or sister. You know, I got brothers, you know, if he violated, I would have no problem telling him, look, man, you was out of pocket for doing whatever that thing it was that you did. It made me feel this type of way. I felt like you violated me by doing this. What can happen? If we brothers, what should happen? Sisters, you got issues with one another? I know how the gossiping is and the murmuring. Brothers murmur too. I'm guilty of that. You know, but we can't give into those demons, man. You know, we got to learn how to stand up and fight and use the tools that were presented to us, man. Christ laid it out flat, laid it out smooth. This is real easy. It's a real easy thing to do. You're the one that's standing in front of this. You're the one that's being a coward and not going to your brother or your sister. Go ahead, Sister Yakara.
I was just going to answer. You said what should happen?
Right.
You gain your brother or your sister.
Yeah, you gained a brother. I respect you for coming at me and letting me know how you felt. Right. I respect you because you put your feelings aside, and now we can level with one another as men or as sisters or as brothers, right? Keep reading.
Come on. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 18 and verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee,
right,
go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone.
Thee and him alone. I mean, you don't need to go call and check with another brother, which I'm really bad for doing that, just to make sure I'm not tripping. Make sure I'm not out of pocket. You know, this brother did this thing, man. You know, and I'm scratching my head behind this. I can't wrap my head around why he did this or why he said that. Cut out all the goddamn confusion and go to that brother, man. Go to that brother. What's stopping you from doing it? What are you afraid of? Hands getting laid on you? We don't lay hands on each other in here, man. This is not the Christian church, man. We do all things in order and in decency in here, man. I'm too wild. Yeah, I'm good. Go ahead and read that for me again.
And go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee.
If he shall what?
Hear thee.
If he shall hear thee. What does that mean? If he shall hear thee. You coming to him with a grievance. You're expressing he had an all, you know. If he don't hear you, he ain't gonna hear nothing that you're saying. He's gonna continue to stand his ground and be defensive and be like, nah, you out of pocket for coming to me with this. You being sensitive, brother. He ain't hearing you. He is not hearing you. Keep reading.
Thou hast gained thy brother.
That's right. If the brother hears you, you've gained a brother. You've gained his respect. That's an honorable thing, you know, for brothers to be able to come together and, you know, work out our differences, man. You know, what's stopping us from doing that? Pride, vanity. It's all foolishness. You thinking that you right instead of you valuing your brother or loving your brother as yourself. Oftentimes when you out of pocket, put yourself in that brother's shoes, man. I try to put myself in brother's shoes all the time. Go ahead, Officer Ayathon.
Nah, what you're saying so heavy, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know we talk, we communicate with each other all the time.
Right.
All of us, you know,
Because we love each other.
Right.
Pause, no
And-
homo.
Right. And you wouldn't have to go to a brother, him and him alone, if you considered your brother, man.
Right.
If you put yourself to the side, you understand, not saying that you won't ever offend anybody.
Right.
But if it happens, you know, it'll happen sometimes. But you lighten the chances of you offending your brother if you consider your goddamn brother, man.
That's right.
Sometimes you don't have to go to that brother and say Salakia if you're considering him. How many times have you heard Commander YAHANNA say Salakia? I messed up. It doesn't happen. It's rare that it happens. If it even happens. You see how rare that is? Because he considers each and every one of us before he acts, man.
Right.
Before he does something, he considers what the weight of that thing is and how it's going to affect his brothers and sisters.
Right.
You understand? If you consider your brothers and sisters, you would not have to say Salakia, man.
Good night. Oftentimes it's in your head, man. You feeling like this brother trying to get over on you, that is in your head, man. You got to stop believing everything that transpires up here, you know, and do what Christ said to do. Go to that brother, man. Maybe y'all can hash out, you know, whatever the differences are, and y'all can recognize what the issue is, and you can gain some understanding. You can gain, you know, love for one another. You saying that God is a liar? You saying that Christ is a liar? You saying the Most High Power is a liar? Now we know that Christ is not God, but he's teaching what the Most High Power wanted him to teach. That's what Christ taught. That's what that's what Commander General YAHANNA is teaching. What Christ taught, which is what the Most High Power is teaching in this verse. Keep reading.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 18, and verse 16. But if he will not hear thee,
He will not hear that. He ain't trying to hear nothing that you're saying. Like I said, you being sensitive, brother. I didn't mean nothing by it, but you know, you out of pocket right now for even just addressing this. He don't hear you. She's not hearing you. Keep reading.
then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established.
Right. You get a brother, and you know, someone that is not, you know, you want to get somebody that's in good standing here in the school. Go ahead, brother.
It's like you want to get somebody, it's a witness, somebody that was there during the offense.
Most High in Christ.
Being that if we're all in here right now and I was to say something out of pocket to you,
Right.
the ones that's in here.
Right.
And like you're saying, yeah, you probably want to get somebody in good standing. However, it says 2 or 3 witnesses, right? But
Right.
sometimes it may just be the 2 of you.
Right.
Or sometimes it may just be 3 of us. We'll get that one brother that was there. Get him on the line. And
Right.
if it calls for something previously to happen also, you know, that has nothing connected to that, then that will come out. Because, you know, if you ever been on something like that, they were like, well, this happened. Well, go call that brother that time.
Right.
Then that'll come out that way. But
Right.
you're right, you know, it's the witnesses, the ones who was around during that offense.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean,
No, that's really interesting too, because you know, because of the witnesses being there, oftentimes you'll hold your tongue, you know, and you won't speak on, you know, the alt or the infraction. But if it was just you and that person, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you mention it?
Right, and that's heavy too, because if, like I say, if you know the offense happened, we all shooting pool. It's 3 or 4 of us. Yeah, you got the witnesses are right there. But going to that brother, right?
Right.
If I go to you in private and you don't hear me in private, that don't mean I come out and tell everybody, man, because they're going to call for those witnesses, and now it's untainted.
Right.
Hasn't been able to be swayed by me going to Zion or Officer Zion or I thought like, man, he was wrong, right? He was wrong, right? You doing all that prior to the council.
Right.
You campaigning. You don't
Right.
need a campaign.
You're on the campaign.
So the witness it's gonna come out in the wash when they get you on the phone or
Right.
in person and that's why I love it, because that's the kingdom of heaven is being established within us. We're handling these issues the righteous way.
Right.
So-called oppressors courtroom, y'all don't go in there. Now all y'all gotta pay court costs and court fees, and you might get contempt and thrown in jail.
Right.
But with us, we're merciful. We're gonna make sure we get down to the bottom of it because the Spirit of the Lord is with us.
Damn right. Damn right.
And so, like, if I may, when we talk about this scripture, it's so heavy because it sounds simple, right? But we got to ask yourself, what is the purpose? Like, why would this scripture be in here? You know what I'm saying? Right. We do gain our brother, sister by going to one another and talking about our issues. But the truth is, it really stops us from hurting each other, man. You think about what this scripture does, man. If we really dwell in the Spirit of the Lord, man, you're going to have issues. Like these issues in life, because this is the life that we live, right?
Right.
You're going to encounter some troubles in life, but Lord willing, you get to a point where you can stop before you really hurt each other. So that way you can possibly get to a point and speak to somebody who loves both of you, or both of us. You understand?
That's right.
So if not, you're going to take matters into your own hand. You may do an action like this brother right here that end up taking his brother's life.
Right.
And if he just would have heard, like, you know what I'm saying, if she possibly would have told him, yeah, like Ayathon said, if she would have checked the card, somebody would have had a rational mind to make judgment, then maybe that brother would still be alive today, man.
That's
and
right.
maybe that brother would have to carry that burden of knowing that he killed his brother. See, these are the things, like the spirit of it stops us from really hurting each other, man.
That's right.
Because we already deal with enough oppression from every goddamn nation that's around us. And they have no problem with issuing their fair share of punishment and judgment at no remorse. You understand?
Right.
But we have to live in the mindset of saying, you know what? Let me chill the hell out before I say something I really don't mean to say.
Right.
Before let me chill out before I actually stab the hell out of you.
Right.
Because these matters in the grand scheme of all life are very small, because guess what? We're still in the same goddamn empire that we call America. So you can choose to hate your brother and not resolve any issue, or you can just close your mouth and say, you know what? Let's chill out for a minute before we take too far. And there's nothing wrong with a brother airing out saying Salakia.
Right.
That, to me, that's strong as hell.
That's
one of the strongest things you can do for a brother or sister. To swallow it and think, oh yeah, it's all good. It's gonna come out.
Right.
It's going to come out, and Lord willing, it does not be to the point where you actually get into a physical altercation.
Right.
Or verbal dispute, man. We got brothers out here dying, man. And I refuse to waste my breath on a brother or sister trying to figure out how I'm going to piss them the hell off. I'll get there with you, and I think we all will.
Right.
But the point is, don't go to a point where you can't return. Chill out. Separate. Go get some counsel.
Right.
So that way, when you come back, you can possibly be like, you know what? All right, let's start over. Let's press this button and actually start over, because we're called to love one another. And if we're gonna want the Most High to press the start over button on us, then we have to learn to press the start over button on each other.
Damn right.
That's
Damn
it, bro.
right. No, Most High Christ. Absolutely right. You got a precept?
So Mike, if I may to add to what Officer Zion is saying, man, like everything he just said, you have to show compassion, man. Compassion to your brother and your sister, man. Show compassion. This brother right here is showing remorse for what he did, and he's showing compassion for another man's life. You understand? Something that America does not teach us to have. Something that we don't have for each other. We don't have compassion, brotherhood or sisterhood for each other, man. We have to start showing compassion towards each other, man.
Right. No, damn right. You're absolutely right, Officer Ayathon. We lack compassion because we learned Christianity from the oppressor. The Christian church is one of the most non-compassionate places on earth, man. You know how it is in the Christian church. There's a lot of murmuring, there's a lot of backstabbing, a lot of backbiting going on in there. You know, I don't even know nothing about Islam, but I know that most people that I know that embrace Islam sell drugs. You know what I'm saying? Or engage in pedophilia. You know what I'm saying? Or they beat their wives, man. You know, that's all I know about Islam, which is toilet paper. But as far as the Quran is concerned, but let's get back to that verse in Matthew. Let's finish this off.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 18, and verse 16. But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee one or two more,
Right.
that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established.
That's right. Every word may be established. Continue.
Verse 17. And if he shall neglect to hear them,
man, neglect to hear them. He ain't even trying to hear nothing. You done brought witnesses. You done came to this brother, him and him alone. You done leveled with the brother. You know, you weren't out of pocket when you presented your argument. You had real strong concrete premises for, you know, your position. He didn't hear you then. You went and got 2 or 3 witnesses. He not only did he not hear you, he neglected to hear the 2 or 3 witnesses, the 2 or 3 other brothers that are striving to get the truth, man. Keep reading.
Come on. And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church.
Tell it unto the who?
The church.
Tell it unto the who?
The school.
There you go. Most High in Christ. The water for correcting that. This is why the I.S.U.P.K is not a church, man. Right. We are a school where you will absolutely learn daily life living skills. Right. You're going to learn conflict resolution. You're going to learn the steps to de-escalation, man. All right. You're going to learn how to have compassion for your brother or your sister, man. These are real skills that you learn. And what we're doing, we're reading out of the Bible right now. We're reading what Christ said way back when. This is what Christ said. You don't have any faith in Christ? You think Christ is a liar? You don't think he knew what the hell he was talking about? He absolutely knew what the hell he was talking about. So much so he even died for this. Christ went to the cross and died for this. And here you go pissing on it. Not employing this conflict resolution 101, man. Keep reading.
Come on, Khan. But if he neglect to hear the school, let him be unto thee as a heathen man and publican.
Wash your hands with it, man. Wash your hands with it. It's nothing. You know, he want to hold on to that. Treat him like a heathen, man. Right. You took it to the council. The wise leadership that we have in here, in the form of the generals, man, in the form of the captains, you know, they hold councils, man. And sometimes, you know, the council might not go in your honor, man. It might not go in your favor. It's definitely an honorable thing. It's not anything you want to run from. I mean, you act like you're going to get a goddamn spanking. Right. What's more terrifying than the spanking the blacks and Hispanics, man? Go ahead, Officer Ayathon.
I got a precept.
Go ahead, run it down.
Book of Matthew, chapter 10 and verse 14. And whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear your words, when you depart out of the house or city, shake off the dust of your feet.
That's right, man. Shake off the dust of your feet, man. Brother ain't trying to hear you. You being a righteous man. You giving him the benefit of the doubt. You trying to level with him. You done took it before, you know, 2 or 3 witnesses. You took it to council, man. You get put out of the school for that. You can get, what do they call it in the world? Excommunicated. Yeah, John Wick, excommunicado, right? Who wants to be outside of the school, man? You know, it took an absolute fool to leave everything that's established here, man. Right. This is what the kingdom of heaven is going to be, man. This is the future rulership of the kingdom of heaven, right, within the righteous ranks of the I.S.U.P.K, man. And you'd be an absolute fool to disregard it on earth right now. You have an opportunity. You have an absolute opportunity at the kingdom of heaven, man. All you got to do is come get in class. That's it. Right. But you standing in front of you standing in your own way, thinking that you know better, man. Thinking that you know better. I'm so sick and tired of these fake Israelites with dreadlocks and all the goddamn weed that they smoke, thinking that by me promoting the school, I'm doing something wrong. Like I'm pushing false indoctrination. You know, it's an absolute sad thing, man, because you're going to see how you end up. You know that having dreadlocks is the worship of another god. The goddess Shiva. Smoking weed, that weed that you smoke, it's in honor of the worship of another god, man. I don't see nowhere in the Torah where any of the prophets or the patriarchs had a goddamn cipher. I don't see that nowhere in here. But because of America, because you're a Christian, because you're an absolute fool, and because you chase your own lusts, you into all that destruction, all that delusion, man. Is that it on that verse?
We can drop down to 18 if you want. Bound in heaven and earth. If you want, just leave it at 17.
Yeah, just drop that. Drop that. Let's go into these laws, man, with regard to murder, man. You know, and I got the Zondervan. Who got a Zondervan in here? You got to pull the Zondervan definition for murder. And then we're going to pull Exodus 20 and 13. Real simple, okay? The book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 13. We are in the biblical law class. It's the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge, man. We are coming out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York City, okay? Under Commander General YAHANNA. We in Fayetteville, North Carolina, man. 205 West Russell Street. Pull up so you can get all your dumb questions answered, man. So, Lock, there's no such thing as a dumb question. We answer all questions, man. We answer all questions for your edification's sake, you know, because it ain't no sense of you being a fool with all this wisdom, all this knowledge in the earth. The book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 13. When you get it, brother, read.
This the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 13.
Oh,
Thou shalt.
Salakia. I know my brother about the road, but I just thought about this. The sidebar, if I may, Baba Kusha. I know we talking about how the brother murdered in self-defense in the bodega, right?
Right.
But there's a challenge that's been going on around on YouTube and Facebook. I've seen it, right? And I just thought about it. It's the challenge of you say you walk into your kid's room and say, hey, somebody just pulled up outside. They want to fight me.
Right.
And they got a kid your age and they want to jump in too. And you see the innocence of these children, man.
Right.
Some of them like, where they at then? You know what I'm saying? It's like pull up on it, right?
That's right.
And then you see some of them like they have more conflict resolution than even in their parents.
That's right.
They more or less like, well, what did he do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think it's comical at the same time, but it shows like we have to be very careful about what we introduce our children to.
Damn right.
And I'm seeing like just thinking about this murder right here. Like there's where I'm from, that's normal. Like it ain't no conflict resolution. If he fighting, we all fighting. You understand?
Right.
And that's toward, but you don't want to be like, hey, come on over here. I got my cousin with me, right? Because you never know what somebody may have waiting on you for you and your cousin.
Well, you don't want what I'm gonna bring out the house.
And I'm looking at the kids. You know, it's funny.
That's right.
But I'm thinking like, what if that's real? What happens? And we see it all the time with Sharkeisha, right?
Good night. Wow. That's sad.
But somebody could literally lose their life with something like that. But I mean, it's something to look at, you know, for as entertainment. But what happens when it becomes real? So we have to be real careful of the spirit that we find entertainment in. You understand?
Damn right.
That's lucky.
Get that brother a hand, man. You absolutely right, Otto One. I saw them challenges and I was like, man, you know, you got to laugh to keep from crying. You know, I see some of them kids, they looking like, what? This is you out of pocket. What you mean? We're going to go fight and you need me to fight? You fight your own battles. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be my mama. You're supposed to be leading me down a righteous path, not the destruction. You know, I don't know nothing about this kid. You know what I'm saying? He could be he could be an absolute monster. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's sad, man. That's absolutely that's ridiculous. We got to be mindful of what, you know, we expose our children to. You know, are we being the best examples, you know, as the leaders of our households to our children? Are you being the best example of a leader as a father? Or as the mother, are you teaching your children? You steering them in the direction of righteousness? Ask yourself that question, man, before you jump out the goddamn window and destroy everything. Now your kids will be wards of the state, which I'm sure what's probably going to happen. Because this sister, she assaulted that brother. She cut him with a razor. She cut him. So she lost her husband, who just came back from prison, making ill decisions, lost her husband, and she assaulted a man that was defending himself. He was just doing his job. Okay? So I'm pretty sure CPS is going to be there to take those children and put them in the system, man, which is sad. The whole family is destroyed behind some goddamn chips. Good night. Where we at? Exodus?
Khan. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 13.
Right.
Thou shalt not kill.
This is what?
The book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 13.
So we know this is one of Moses' books, man. We all know about the biblical account of the Exodus, or us leaving Egypt under the tyrannical rule of Pharaoh, man. This is one of Moses' books, the first 5, right? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Exodus, right? It said, thou shalt not what?
Not kill.
This is a part of those so-called 10 commandments, Christian. The 10 commandments, the big 10. And one of the big 10 says, thou shalt not kill. Okay? Now, we don't want to muddy the waters when it comes down to killing, because I'll kill a chicken real quick for them wings. You know what I'm saying? We'll kill a cow for them ribs that my brother Officer Ayathon likes to make on that brisket. Okay, this is not the spirit of killing. This is the spirit of murder that's being expounded upon in Exodus 20 and 13, man. And I want you to, who's got the Zondervan? Go ahead and read that for me. Murder.
This is the Zondervan's Compact Bible Dictionary.
Right.
It doesn't give a clear definition, but I'll read a little bit what it says about murder.
Right.
It says murder. From the days of Noah, the biblical penalty for murder was death. You can find this in Genesis 9 and 6. Throughout the Old Testament times, ancient Semitic customs of the avenger of blood was followed. Then it goes down talking about how the family relative, the nearest relative, will pursue the person who committed the murder.
Right.
Go down. In a murder trial, the agreeing testimony of at least 2 persons was necessary for conviction. Then it goes on and says, an animal known to be vicious had to be confined, and if it caused the death of anyone, the animal was destroyed, and the owner was held guilty of murder. It talks about the asylum in the holy place, that you can go get away from the avengers if you murder someone.
Right.
And it also says no ransom could be accepted for a murder. No ransom.
Give me Leviticus 24 and 17.
I got Merriam-Webster's dictionary of murder.
Right.
It says murder, the crime of unlawfully killing a person, especially with malice.
Right. Unlawfully killing a person, especially with malice. That word malice means what? Just ill intent. Well, cruel intent. Okay. So what we witnessed was what you would call a justifiable homicide, because that brother was just doing his job. Okay. And as a customer, you ain't supposed to be behind the goddamn register. You keep your black behind outside of the partition. You don't want no smoke. The bodegas down here, I done seen them have choppers behind the counter. There's a Draco waiting for you behind that counter if you decide that you want to be out of pocket, okay? So you can't be a fool and be blinded by your rage, or be blinded by malice, okay? And make a decision that's going to not just destroy you, but your entire household, man. All right? Where was you at with that? Read that definition again for me, Baba Kusha.
This is a definition of murder. The crime of unlawfully killing a person, especially with malice.
Right. So like I said, that brother was in fear of his life, being a senior citizen almost. He's in his 60s, and he's dealing with a brother that's half his age, fresh out the pen. Okay. He wants all the smoke. This brother didn't know what was going to happen. And you can see initially when he got tussled, when he got roughed up, he set back. It wasn't until the brother, he literally turned the other cheek. He wanted to see if this brother was really about this road that he wanted to go down. He gave him the benefit of the doubt, man. If you watch the video, man, yeah, Officer Zion pulled the video up, you know, and I see him gather his senses. He's trying to wrap it around his head, like, what the hell is happening here? Over some chips, I know it all flashed. His life flashed before his eyes, man. But when that brother grabbed him again, he said, no, I have to defend myself now. And being Black, Hispanic, Native Indian, you must defend yourself, man. There ain't no sense in being no goddamn victim when the Lord is a man of war. You know, we learned the YAHANNA, any of the brothers that have the privilege and honor of going through Hebrew Academy, you learn to make war with your hands, man. But we're never the ones that are going on the offensive, man. We're always defending. You have to be given the order to take ground. You have to be given the order to fall on them. You can't just do it. God forbid that order is given. Because I know it's some real angry Negroes in the I.S.U.P.K, man. You know, we ain't no fake Israelites, man. We are not Christians. You know, I repeat, we are not Christians, all right? So give me Leviticus 24 and 17.
This the book of Leviticus, chapter 24, verse 17.
24, verse 17. Most High in Christ.
And he that killeth any man.
He that what?
Killeth any man.
Right.
Shall surely be put to death.
He that killeth any man shall surely be put to death. When we talk about the spirit of killing, we're talking about murder now, okay? You taking it into your hands to extinguish the life of another human being, man. Who the hell are you to make that decision, man? The Most High is responsible for who lives or who dies, not you. You didn't seek counsel before you decided to murder. That goes against our laws. That goes against our culture. That goes against the customs of God's chosen people. We're supposed to be peculiar. We're supposed to be strange. We can't take on the spirit of the so-called oppressor, man. We can't be like any of the mobsters, you know, from the early 1900s, even up to the. You can't be like John Gotti, man. You can't be like Beanie Siegel, man. You can't be like Scarface, man. You can't do that. That's not our custom, okay? We are a peaceable people, all right? Now, we're warriors, but we do all things with decency and honor, man. And it said, read that again.
This the book of Leviticus, chapter 24, verse 17. And he that killeth any man,
right, shall
surely be put to death.
Right. He that killeth any man shall surely be put to death. This is in the book of Leviticus, man. At that point in time, we had, you know, righteous rulership that had the authority to put you to death for violating the laws, for transgressing the laws. We don't have that. We don't have that just yet. As far as where we can hold a trial and put you to death in the nation of Israel. We don't have that. The most you'll have is what? Getting put out of the school, which is death, imminent death, or you'll pay a fine or whatever the generals deem appropriate for your punishment for violating our culture, our customs, the law, statutes, and commandments. We're supposed to walk circumspect, man, to keeping these law, statutes, and commandments in here. All right? Drop that. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 21. Let's go to Matthew 5 and 21. We're talking about the spirit of murder, man.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 21. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time.
Salaki, brother, what color is this written in?
Red.
This is written in red. So who is actually saying this right now?
Yahweh.
Who?
Yahweh.
Yahweh, who we foolishly call Jesus Christ on the earth, right? Yahweh Mashiach is saying this. Christian, listen up. Keep reading.
Thou shalt not kill.
Yeah, this is something that's old. The Christian church, one of the churches that I passed was called the New Testament Church of blah, 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 which is so disgusting. So disgusting for you to overshadow everything that was written aforetime in the Old Testament. You just disregard Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. You disregard all of that. You solely focus on the New Testament. You don't understand the Old Testament, man. There's no way you can understand the New without the Old Testament, man. What book do you pick up and just read the second half of and think that you are going to understand the context of the entire story, man? You can't. And the Bible is supposed to be read precept upon precept, man. We validate any argument. We can stand on it based off of the precepts that were given in the Old and in the New. All right? Read that again.
Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time,
Right.
Thou shalt not kill.
Right.
And whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment.
Shall be in danger of the judgment. We understand that judgment is punishment. We are a very stiff-necked, disobedient people, man. And it's crazy how we automatically correlate judgment to punishment. Judgment is twofold. You can either be rewarded or you can be punished. All right? But because we're so stiff-necked, and because we're in the Christian church, and because we don't keep the law, statutes, and commandments, you can guarantee what the punishment will be on the other end of judgment. It's going to be a punishment. You are going to have to pay. All right? Keep reading.
Verse 22. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without
Whosoever is what?
Angry with his brother.
Man, this is the beautiful thing about YAHANNA, man. You know, he'll give you the letter of the law, but he taught the spirit of the law. So he's going to get down to the nitty gritty. He's going to have you acknowledge and recognize what leads to the murder. What's the spirit of murder? The root of it is anger. Christ is walking it down for you. He's leveling it up, the law. Okay? Read that again.
But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother.
Whosoever is angry with his brother. Why would you be angry with your brother? Why? We just talked about conflict resolution. What you're supposed to do if you have an ought with a brother, if you feel like a brother violated you or a sister violated you. Why are we angry with one another? Because of colors? You rocking blue, I'm rocking red. You from this hood, I'm from that hood. Those are the reasons why we are angry with one another. We angry with one another because I won't give you a bag of goddamn chips. That's why we gotta die. We have to shed blood behind a bag of chips. Keep reading, brother.
Without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment.
Yeah, whoever is angry with his brother without a cause, that ain't no cause to be upset with a brother over some chips. He could have came in that store and pulled out a bankroll and bought those chips. He could have got on the phone and figured out why the bank card, why the EBT card wasn't working. There's so many other alternative avenues they could have walked down. But because they lack compassion, because we're in America, because we don't love one another, blood was shed that day. Blood was shed that day in that bodega. And the family was destroyed, man. This old man was destroyed because of this. Keep reading.
And whosoever shall say to his brother, Rakah, shall be in danger of the council.
Rakah just means worthless, man. Rakah just means you worthless. You ain't worth a damn. You heard anybody say that before?
La'ah.
Because you are worth something. But I've heard that before. I've heard somebody say, you ain't worth, you know what? You ain't. And that's bad, man. You're supposed to find value in your brother. You're supposed to find value in your sister, man. We come from a very ancient royal bloodline. So if you Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, that's something that's honorable.
And
you have to acknowledge that.
Salakia too. if here's the truth about real life. You talking about Ricard trying to tear down your brother.
Right.
The truth, here go the thing that I find out. Most of the time when you don't want to forgive a brother or sister for something that they done, you saying that they're not worthless. The real truth is that you're the one that's not worth anything.
Right.
You understand?
That's right.
Like if we can't find it within ourselves to look at each other different, then what? If you can't do that, then what value do you have to offer any goddamn body? Real talk. What? Who decided that you was gonna be King Honcho or Sister Thorn, if I may? You know what I'm saying? About you're the ultimate decider of who's right and who's wrong.
Right.
And to say you're worthless.
Good night.
When we talk about law, statutes, and commandments and being in order, you have to look at everybody that's in the part of us as a nation of people has value. You understand?
Right.
Every single one of us has value. And if you don't believe it, then you really just don't believe in yourself because you're part of the same goddamn body. Salakia bunker, yo.
No, you too wild, sir. The water for that. Is that it on that verse?
La'ah.
Keep reading.
But whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire.
Be in danger of hellfire, man. That's worse than the judgment. That comes from the most high power, man. Now it's out of the hands of the priests and prophets. The most high power is going to deal with you, man. You know, when you think about hell on earth, that's a condition. That's our reality. Being black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, okay? Drop that. Let's go to 1 John 3:15.
Hold on, Salakia. Young man Uriah said, Salakia, it's on topic.
Most High in Christ.
He said, Salakia, he said,
My nigga.
can you ever be justified or forgiven for killing someone depending on the situation?
Like this brother right here, I'm sure he's going to get exonerated. You know what I'm saying? The DA basically is thinking about dropping all charges against him. You know, that's what you would call self-defense. There is no crime in defending yourself, man. A brother's not supposed to put his hands, a sister's not supposed to put her hands on you. You know, they say, oh, you ain't my mama, you ain't my daddy, because your mom and dad, they got the rod of correction. They'll chasten you, you know, but anybody else, even that, there's limitations on that, okay? But no, you ain't supposed to put your hands on nobody, man. If you put your hands on me, just be prepared for what happens after the fact, okay? Because you don't know how I'm going to respond. I could fear for my life. I could have an FN57 waiting to blow your goddamn head off underneath my shirt, which is that's the tone of what's going on in the earth today. Nobody has any compassion. I saw two brothers get into a little scuffle, and then they both reach under their shirt and just start shooting. And there's absolute bystanders in between them in Chicago. I said, man, we can't even disagree with one another and resolve any type of conflict without wanting to kill one another, man. This is how destroyed we have been because of America, man, because of the Christian church, man. Our only safeguard is to come into the I.S.U.P.K under Commander General YAHANNA, man. And that's my time with the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, coming out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General YAHANNA. If you're not in the I.S.U.P.K, under Commander General YAHANNA, you are not in the truth. I'm going to pass the class over to priest and prophet of 500, Officer Ayathan Ban Yahawada. My man, 100 grand.
I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We're in I.S.U.P.K, start out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When new brother and sister comes to the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They'll be saluted only. They're to share themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to her brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is commandment, Book of Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, Book of Matthew chapter 3, verse 8 to 10, ma'ashro, which means 10th in the Hebrew, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, get the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offer for a priest, not mandatory whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations, Sunday, September 25th, we will have the memorial blowing of trumpets
Right.
here in Fayetteville.
Right.
You understand? You can find that in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 24 through 25. If you need, if anybody or sister needs, transportation or arrangement plans, you can contact your camp leader and they will help you out with the transportation and arrangement plans. If anyone wants to be a troop in the school, start wearing all black boots, pants, shirt, headband, and scarf. With that, Almighty, which means to stand. Sisters, be seated. We're going to render one courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel, I.S.U.P.K, Almighty, Barak, Yahweh Shemi Al-Shabrak,
Yahweh Shemi Al-Shabrak.
Yahweh, hands down. Sorry, turn. We're going to turn face sisters. Sisters, please stand. We're going to render one courtesy salute to the sisters, men of Israel, I.S.U.P.K, Amayim, Barak, Yamata, hands down, class dismissed.
Yeah, right.
Oh, it's all. What coming down? Came down. What coming down? Came all the way down.
A lot of support. That man Cam came through with the reading. My nigga. I appreciate you, brother.
Like that. Little meaty.
Strong man. You the first strong man. You know you're supposed to come up here. You're supposed to come up here and join with your brother.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I started calling up.
You see them niggas do it with
I really announced he's out of that.
You don't have to go up.
All that pretty yellow.
I was trying to tell you.
I like this here.
The broadcast in? The broadcast still going? Broadcast still going?
Yeah, he's still watching. So guys.
Broadcast still on. Yeah. I'm still on here.
Uh-oh.